Thank you so much for being here today. A special thank you to all of our guests. I want to personally invite you. My name is Heather Doyle. I'm our president-elect. I personally invite you back, hopefully personally invite you back as a candidate to be a member. If you care about this community and you care about kids and you want to make an impact in your community, you want your community to be left in a better place than when you found it, you want to help the children who so desperately need our assistance in this family we call Manatee County. If you like things such as reading to children and sending them home with their very own book, helping them get the very needed supplies so that they can go to school and look, sound, and feel just like every other child in Manatee County. If you care about selling Christmas trees to help one of our local nonprofits, or ringing bells in partnership with the Salvation Army, or sponsoring a child so that they too can wake up on Christmas morning with an armful of gifts under the tree and feel just the same as my child and your grandchild and your niece and anyone else down the road and their friends and their neighbors, then this club is absolutely for you. For those of you that are guests, I'd ask you to look around the room here today. These are people who care about children, who care about the mission, who decided that when they wake up in the morning, they're not going to have every day be the same day as it was the day before. That they're going to make a personal commitment to look outside of the little box that they call their life and do something worthy so that they know and feel when it's their time they have done service to this community. These people in this room are our Bradenton Kiwanis. They are the people that make this club as impactful as it is. They are leaders in business. They are leaders in industry. They are members of our judiciary. They are homemakers. They are friends. They are members of clergy. They are tax-paying citizens. And most importantly, they are people with very large hearts. I'm going to challenge each of you before I am inducted, I believe it's at the end of September, to think of one person you think would be a great fit for us to enter into our community of Kiwanis members, and to actively ask them if those are the things that are near and dear to their heart too. And I look forward to making this wall have to come back and for us having a full room of Kiwanis members for our mission. So with that, let's introduce our fantastic speakers who are here to talk about one of our causes near and dear to our heart. Sheila Halpin and Luann Howe work with Manatee County Schools. Their work is aligned with the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. The Campaign for Grade Level Reading is a nationwide effort to ensure all children are reading proficiently by the end of 3rd grade. Their work specifically targets children in families living in poverty. Both have been teachers with our school system and now are members of the early learning team. Without further ado, please give a warm Kiwanis welcome to Dr. Sheila Halpin and Luann Howe.
Good afternoon. We are honored to be here today. Today, Luann and I will be sharing about an initiative that is aligned with the Campaign for Grade Level Reading, and that is our Early Learning Coalition. The Manatee County School Board and Manatee Community Action Agency have joined together for an Early Learning Community Task Force. Ready? Ready. What is the Early Learning Task Force? The Early Learning Task Force is a group of agencies that have come together to serve 4-year-olds in our community. VPK, Voluntary Pre-K, is optional for parents to participate in. Prior to the Early Learning Task Force, each of the agencies would be reaching out to those 4-year-olds and their families. Collectively, we have come together to work on initiatives together to ensure that all 4-year-olds and their families are having the same services, that we are doing initiatives that are leading the families into reading proficiency with their children. This is all aligned with the Campaign for Grade Level Reading, and as Heather shared, the Campaign for Grade Level Reading is a movement and an initiative. It is a nationwide initiative, and Manatee County Schools is taking part with that. We have partners with our Campaign for Grade Level Reading, and we are very fortunate to have them. We have the United Way that is partnering with us. We have Manatee Community Foundation, and we also have University of South Florida. Dr. Green had the foresight to bring all of the agencies together, with United Way taking the lead and putting in the application for us to participate with the campaign. The campaign wants to ensure that all children, but specifically those living in poverty, are reading proficiently by the end of 3rd grade. The interesting thing about the Campaign for Grade Level Reading is that it does not come with a standardized program. Each community is charged with working together, examining what we are doing, how we are working with families and children, and how we can work collectively to serve these children and their families. Thus, the Early Learning Community Task Force came into existence. We have many initiatives working together that we did not have in the past. We have the STEAM machine that I'm going to be speaking about. We have collective professional development for our teachers, utilizing conscious discipline. We also are doing a program called SOAR that was not in existence before. So we're going to share a little bit about each of those initiatives. And we all started our work together by doing something that we called community conversations. Community conversations is an impactful way to go out and talk to the community members that are residing in neighborhoods and asking them, what are the assets of your community and what are some of the areas that you have concerns about? We're targeting 3 neighborhoods because when you started to look at the entire district, it became overwhelming, or all of Manatee County. So we thought collectively, we are still going to be doing our work throughout Manatee County, but we're really going to be focusing on 3 neighborhoods. And the 3 neighborhoods we chose were Rogers Garden Bullock, Seabreeze Elementary School's neighborhood, and Ballard Elementary School. And in those neighborhoods, we did a train-the-trainer model in which we invited community members to come out and learn how to put on a community conversation so that all the questions were similar. Everybody was allowed to give input, and we had a variety of people that were giving the community conversations, so we had a variety of responses that were given back. Our target was to do 2 teenage groups in each of those areas. We tried to target 2 what we called parent age groups in those areas, and then 2 senior citizen groups in those areas. And the reason we were looking at this collectively is because the neighborhood is made up of all those individuals. We wanted to have all those different perspectives. We had 20 community conversations that took place in those 3 neighborhoods, and that gave us some starting points as to what was going on in the neighborhood, what were some areas of concerns, and what was really working in those neighborhoods. And that information is being shared with other agencies that are working in those neighborhoods so that we can collectively look at who's working in the neighborhoods, what's working, what can we duplicate and not replicate services. So that can free some of us up to work on other things. But it was a starting point for all of us, and it was very, very powerful as we saw parents come out, we saw grandparents come out, and we could hear about what was going on in those neighborhoods. And it was run by someone that lives in that neighborhood. SOAR is a unique program that came about because of the campaign for grade level reading. We are so fortunate that our voluntary pre-K classrooms have increased in Manatee County schools. But some of the things that have resulted because of that is we're finding that our children are not coming to school as prepared as they could be. There's something called a 30 million word gap by the age of 3. When you look at children that are coming into school that are living in a house that is residing in poverty and a house that is not in poverty, the children that are residing in poverty usually come to school with about a 30 million word gap because of the vocabulary and the lack of language development in those classrooms. So we had children that were coming into our VPK classrooms at 4 years old, and we thought, what can we do to help prepare those families and those children prior to coming to school? And thus, SOAR 4 was developed. We piloted it last year in the Seabreeze community for the Seabreeze families that were choosing to have their children enroll in school in August. We started working with those families the May before. So the families all summer participated in SOAR 4 events. The teachers were a part of that. The principal was part of that initiative. And what families did was that they would come to Seabreeze Elementary School every other week for on-campus activities. They would come and receive dinner together as the family. The families would be modeling what the children would be going through on their first day of school in August. Everything from going in and to the cafeteria line and walking through the cafeteria line. After dinner, we would all come together and we would do demonstration play activities with our families. So our families would be learning about the importance of reading to their children, but not only that, we would be showing them how to read with them. And then there were centers that the children and families would participate in. It was all play-based. So all summer long, the children were on campus when it was quiet and the whole school community was just surrounding these families. We had United Way volunteers that came out and worked every on-campus activity night. It was so well received that we duplicated these initiatives, the SOAR 4 nights, at 2 other elementary schools, and those are our targeted neighborhoods in Rogers Garden and also in the Ballard area. So we had families that came out and participated all summer long, getting their child ready, working with their child at home actively to start school in August. Because of that initiative, the first day of school for our VPK children was a very smooth transition because all summer long they had been working with their classroom teacher. On the other week, we had family homework, and that could be going to the library with your child or working at home reading a book and coloring a picture. The interesting part about the other week was the classroom teacher was then calling the family and asking if they needed help with any of the things that they were working on. How are they enjoying the night? Building that communication and that relationship prior to the start of school. The start of school this year, we're happy to say, we had no separation anxiety from either parent or child when they dropped their children off for the first day because they had already been involved with the teacher all summer long. The children were more prepared coming to school and felt comfortable coming into that environment. SOAR 4, we hope, will continue to grow. We were so fortunate that the Manatee Community Foundation had brought another funder to the table, and our hope is within the next 5 years, SOAR 4 will be in all of our high poverty schools, getting our children ready prior to coming into our school campus. Soaring Families is a way that we worked with our families, and this is some of the information that was reported back to us from our families that participated in SOAR 4. They felt more connected to our schools, they felt more vested in their child's education, and they knew what to be working with their child on over the summer. Throughout the program, if the parents came to every on-campus activity throughout the summer, they would have received 35 books to have in their home library at home. If they weren't able to come to the campus events, we would have intern social workers that went out to visit with the families and take them the materials in their home to meet with them at a more convenient time. So even if they couldn't come to us, we made sure that we went to them with the materials that we had reviewed the week before, and the play materials would then make it into the home. The cost of the summer program, when you break it down, we were given $8,872 for this program. When you break down the cost, we had 98 families that participated in this. 71 families came to one campus event or more. We had many families that attended all 5 events on campus. And 93 of the families received the phone calls every other week. It ended up working to be about $95 per student, but if you look at all of the family members that came, and we not only invited mom and dad, we invited grandparents to come, we invited brothers and sisters to come, because the learning materials that were going home and the playing was so rich, it would benefit any child. It ended up to be about 25 cents per person that attended that summer SOAR and 4 initiative that we had this summer. The STEAM machine is an amazing opportunity that's going to be going out to these 3 neighborhoods also. The STEAM machine is a collective community initiative hosted by Mr. Paul Scharf from the Early Learning Coalition and Kathy Patrica from Manatee Community Action Agency, Head Start. If you look at those 3 neighborhoods, collectively, we have 32 child care providers in our 3 pre-K classrooms that are 3 pre-K schools with 8 classrooms that are in those neighborhoods. The STEAM machine is a mobile van that will be going out to these sites. We will have a teacher on board and we will have a paraprofessional on board, and they will be going out and doing math lessons in these neighborhoods, specifically going to that school. The nice part about this is the classroom teacher with the children will be able to participate in the lesson. So the teacher coming out will actually be doing a demonstration lesson in professional development and demonstrating that with that center director and that center teacher. The STEAM machine is also a great way to equalize the materials that the children in the neighborhoods are receiving. Some of our centers have more resources than some other centers. This is a way for all of the children to be learning and to be focusing on the same standard and benchmarks and receiving the same materials. So the STEAM machine will be going to each of those 32 providers in our 3 schools 4 times this year. The teacher will be doing lessons. Manatee County Libraries will be collecting items for us to put and use with our lessons. So it's a true community collaboration. Conscious Discipline is a professional development training that we are offering, and we already had participated this summer with Head Start once again, and the Early Learning Coalition providers, and our own early learning teachers in Manatee County. This was a way for all of us to join together. It's a social emotional curriculum where we're all learning the best way to deal with children that are in crisis or children that are having some emotional issues. So this way, collectively, as a community, we're all working on the same outreach together. Our teachers are learning together, and this has never happened before. So we're all doing a book study together, and when we have speakers come in to teach us about conscious discipline, we are all together learning together. The beginning of our journey was quite interesting. So we think, okay, this summer we had a great SOAR and 4 initiatives. We have books to be purchased for conscious discipline. How are we going to pay for this? Well, I'm happy to say no school district funds were utilized for this program or any of the programs that we're utilizing. What has happened is we had a private donor, he and his wife had stepped forward, and we created the SOAR and 4 initiative with Steve and Carolyn Roskamp. They are strong supporters for our schools and our early learning community. Because of Steve and Carolyn, we were able to also work with the Manatee Community Foundation that was able to bring in another donor that said, we want to adopt the 3 schools for the summer SOAR and 4 and to work on that initiative with you. So this whole program and our whole initiative of working together was just looking at how we could do things differently, how we can work collectively with the agencies that are already in town, and how we can find things that are working in our areas and then focus those initiatives that are working out in the community for our families and benefit them. We have a lovely video that Dr. Green has done for our SOAR and 4 families. Each of our families had seen this video this summer, and we just wanted to let you see some of it. It contains some of the footage from our SOAR and 4 pilot program, and it was just a great way for her to introduce the concept of SOAR and 4 to our families.
Welcome, families. I am delighted that you have decided to enroll your child in Manatee County's free, full-day, high-quality pre-K program. Pre-K is a wonderful opportunity for all our 4-year-olds. It gives them the foundation they need for kindergarten and a lifetime of learning. Our highly trained and dedicated teachers and administrators have created safe classroom environments with enriching lessons for our pre-kindergarten students. Your child will discover, investigate, and will be engaged in learning important new skills, like how to work with other children, ask questions, solve problems, and learn new vocabulary. And our community has made a historic commitment to providing families like yours with the SOAR and 4 program. This neighborhood movement, led by Steve and Carolyn Roskamp, will ensure that all 4-year-old students and their families have the support they need for success this school year and beyond. SOAR and 4 is built on the most basic of beliefs, that all students will learn and achieve. The SOAR and 4 program will leverage everyday involvement by family, friends, and neighbors with community resources, business partners, faith-based organizations, and caring volunteers in support of its overriding goal, that 100% of the SOAR and 4 children will be reading proficiently in 3rd grade. SOAR and 4 is a collaborative partner with the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. Research shows that proficiency in reading by the end of 3rd grade enables students to shift from learning to read to reading to learn. Most students who fail to reach this critical milestone have difficulty in the later grades and often drop out of school before earning a high school diploma. So throughout this year, SOAR and 4 will be providing amazing experiences for your family that will have a lasting impact on your child throughout their entire school experience. And this all starts with creating unforgettable family learning opportunities that never lose the element of fun. Beginning this summer, SOAR and 4 families will be invited to 5 family events over the summer. These events will help prepare you and your child for the first day of school. SOAR and 4 will provide you with a virtual volunteer buddy that will call you to offer support and resources. Throughout the year, you will be invited to family activities, events, and celebrations that have been designed to help you set the stage for your child's success in the early years and early grades. 14 years from now, your child will be at his or her commencement in a cap and gown receiving their high school diploma. Although it may seem like a long way off, now is the time for you to envision what dreams and opportunities you want for your child. Success in life doesn't happen by chance. So if you want your child to have the opportunity to become an astronaut that goes to Mars, or the researcher that cures cancer, or an Olympian, or a teacher, or to become the best person that they can be, then you must be actively involved now. You are the most powerful and influential role model in your child's life. You are their first teacher, brain builder, and advocate. Your involvement sets the stage for success not only now, but for their high school years. Research shows that when families are involved in their child's education, they do better at school. Your greatest contribution might not be something that you do, but someone that you raise. Participate in all the SOAR and 4 activities this year. Get your child to school every day and on time. Establish expectations and encourage and support. Celebrate developmental and academic milestones. And I will look forward to seeing you and your child at the graduation ceremony for the class of 2031.
And all the families just did what you did. They all clapped. They couldn't believe it. So this is a great opportunity for our community. The early learning community has not worked this way before, and it wouldn't be happening if it was not for the efforts of Dr. Robin Thompson, Paul Scharf, and Kathy Patrica. They really have collectively come together to look at our 4-year-olds and surround them as a community. And that child is no longer being looked at as a commodity. It's being looked at as a family. And how can we, our 3 agencies, best serve the families in our community? So not only are SOAR and 4 events happening in the summer, they're happening all year long for the families. We are collectively pulling the families together once a month. They're working with the families that they had met over the summer. So now they're meeting their child's class friends and their families. It's built a support network for them within this SOAR and 4. So there are benefits that are coming out that we did not even expect. And on top of that, we have the STEAM machine that's going out and shared professional development. So it's an exciting time for our community, and we are so fortunate to have people that believe in this initiative and want to contribute to it and support us, both volunteering and financially. Thank you. The whole structure of the SOAR and 4 program is built around play, and it was amazing how many comments we heard back from our families. We did not know to play with our children. So many times we're so busy doing, and especially when you're living in poverty, there's so much crisis going on all of the time. But families now realize the benefit of playing with their children, and we're giving them the materials to continue that play at home. This is our first full year of implementation. We started last year at Seabreeze. The families so well received it. The Ross Camp said we need to expand this, and Manatee Community Foundation helped us to do so. So now we're in the 3 schools, and the SOAR and 4 has continued all year long now too.
It is a tradition at the Bradenton Kiwanis Club, if you just come right over here, for us to give you a small token of our appreciation. This is the heralded, the coveted Kiwanis Golden Rule to help you measure what I hope to be unprecedented success with the SOAR and 4 program, as well as all of your projects to help all of our children in need. From us to you, thank you so much, and greatly appreciate you coming to give us such insight.
Thank you.
Well, all right, and if anyone who is our guest is interested, Christy, go ahead and just wave your hand around. Christy Cardillo is our membership coordinator. If you like any of the projects that you had heard about and want to serve your community and the children of this community, I only touched upon 4 of the many, many things that we do. We meet every Tuesday for lunch. You can attend as many or as few meetings as you want and participate in as many or as few projects as you want. I look forward to seeing all these new faces again. Thank you so much to our current members. And with that, we are adjourned.